It's Premier League midweek picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code PLGP to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, let's have a look, Sunday, April the 20th is the answer. We are here to have a little look around the Premier League action that finished a few hours ago. There's still one game left on the Monday night. And we've got two midweek games to have a look at as well in the Prem. So a little turbo episode. Joining me, he's just in a yawn like the lion that comes on at the start of films. So I assume he's full of enthusiasm as per usual. Mr. Barry Penaluna. All right, Baz, we keeping you up, son?
I'm just a little bit tired, yeah. I know why? I've been away all weekend, haven't I? Well, not all weekend. I came back yesterday. What I've realised, Malcolm, is I haven't had a nap for about 5 days. And that's not good for me.
Oh, really?
I don't function well without a nap. So yeah, lack of napping for the last few days is causing issues.
I've barely been awake for the last 3 days. The exact opposite, Barry. I've been to bed twice today, I think, since I got up at 11:30. I went back at 2. I went back about 4:30. So yeah, and actually about 9:15 for half an hour. So yeah, I've been to bed 4 times. Not very well, Barry. It's like we play ping pong, me and you, not being very well. But I'm not going to dwell on it. Callum's having to go me backwards hat, but I had a bath and my hair is fucking massive. So I've just quickly ran and put me tit for tat on. Callum is in the chat with Lee and Andy. Andy's potentially in a hot tub. So if Andy wants to. If everyone wants to think about Andy's little winkle bobbing about while he listens to the show, feel free about that. Who else is here? I think that's everyone so far. If you are around, say hello. Just before I pressed the buttons there, Baz, I just said it felt like a bit of another nothing weekend. It feels like everyone's just going through the motions. Now, it doesn't help that Newcastle got stuffed, because that just makes you not interested in football, just turns you off everything. It's hard to get up for the rest of it. So I get that. But then you said the Liverpool game was weird, the Arsenal game. I think because there's so many, the promoter teams are shit. You get sort of like a load of dead rubbers every weekend. So there's a load of games you can just write off. And then when teams like Brighton and Brentford play each other, that's just a waste of time. I don't know, it just all felt a little bit there. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy any of it, actually. It was a bit shit, Baz.
Yeah, obviously I didn't enjoy our game. And then today, as I said to you, it feels almost like it's almost got like a pre-season friendly type of feel to some of these games now. Because Liverpool are just going through the motions. Leicester knew they're done. And Liverpool will just, it's as you say, the promoted teams being crap just means we all know the outcome pretty much every week. It's just how the outcome arrives. Is it going to be a 1-0? Is it going to be a 3-0? Some weeks teams will put up a few goals against them. Some weeks teams won't. Even the Arsenal game wasn't that entertaining, really. It just felt inevitable from the minute it started. And even more inevitable from the minute Leif Davis got a little bit silly and made the most ridiculous challenge I've seen in a while. But yeah, but it hasn't been great fun, but the picks have been okay for me. So, not all bad.
We get to the picks in a minute, Baz. I want to tie up a couple of loose ends from Friday's show. A lot of people want to know how Jesus got on. As suspected, it didn't end well for him. However, he ran it off, Baz. 3 days later, he was fine, it turns out. He ran it off, so Jesus was good.
Wasn't it, Malcolm?
See what?
It was a right old plot twist, that, wasn't it? Turned out he wasn't dead at all.
Ran it off. The algorithm, since I've tweeted that out, all I see is tweets by Jesus. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That one, Jesus Christ just keeps, woke up dead or something like some stupid like that. And that's all I see now. Jesus tweets. The rugby money that was going to turn into £1 billion. I spunked half an hour later on the early kickoff between Derby and Luton. So that didn't last longer than about an hour after the show finished. That was the end of that. The IT department's got a new peg basket for the washing pegs. So that's nice for everyone. And we had a lamb off, Barry. We were going to have a bit of a lamb leg off. Well, I've seen your lamb leg today. And I'll be honest, it knocks mine into a cocked hat. I was slightly handicapped with mine because everybody kept going out. So I had no set time for it to be ready. Do you know what I mean? So I prepped it all right. I did it on the bone because I'm lazy. I roasted a whole garlic, clove, clove, the whole thing. Anyway, got that out, mashed that up with a mint, rubbed that in. But then I didn't have a time. So when you're trying to slow cook it, have I got to get it ready for 4 or 6 or 8 or 5? So it was just in and out the oven. It was just faffed about it too much. So it's absolutely fine, Barry. It's not a problem. But then you came all over Twitter with yours, and you'd boned it and you'd had it in the barbecue with your rosemary butter and all that. So yeah, I think you won. I think you won the lamb off, Baz.
Yeah, I did have some similar problems though. Chloe had a sleepover last night at a friend's house, and at no point in the morning could I find out what time she was planning to come home. And I was getting more and more agitated about the fact I didn't know what time we were eating dinner, because I didn't know whether to have breakfast and then I wouldn't be hungry at 2 o'clock if we're having it at 2, or should I eat now? And it was driving me mad. So I got to the point where I was just like, right, I'm just going to cook the lamb, and when it's ready, everything else will be ready. And if the kids aren't here, then they'll just have to warm theirs up later. So at that point, Helen made an executive decision to tell Chloe she better get herself home for 2 o'clock ready for dinner. So everyone arrived at the time the dinner was ready. So it all worked out well in the end. But yeah, any excuse to fire up the barbecue for me and get my knife out and use my butchery skills. So I did debone the lamb and rolled it all up, and it cooked beautifully. Like, it was nice. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it did look good, Barry. I think that was all my crack, really. So, yeah, picks wise, I don't know, right? Mine was more quality over quantity, Baz. I only hit 3 out of 9, but 2 of them were 13-5 shots. So of the 9 games, I've ended up at 9.2 units, which were the draw in Palace Bournemouth. Then took Wolves this afternoon. Wolves as a dog at 13-5. And that got absolutely mullered in the betting, by the way. They've been offered about 15-8. And the unders in City Everton, which was even money. So that got me to 9.2. As far as the exotics, it was just Wolves is my underdog, which was fine. I was all right with that. Fulkrug as my scorer, had one disallowed. Fulkrug did then slag off West Ham entirely in his interview, which was quite good. So that was it. So yeah, 9.2 for me, Baz. But I think you did all right. And then you ate a large portion of steak and Stilton without being able to fully claim it. Is this correct?
Yeah, I did. We'll start there, because for about the 4th or 5th time this year, I've hit 2 legs of the steak and Stilton. But there was a way that people could have manufactured a full winner out of it. So 2 out of 3 came up anyway. So it was the yellow cards. It was Joe Linton, Tarkowski, and Lerma was the other one. So Lerma got his, Joe Linton got his, Tarkowski didn't. So the double, I did encourage people to play the doubles. The double would have paid 12-1 for Joe Linton and Lerma. But as Lee in the chat will attest to, a lot of the UK bookmakers now give you what's called a super sub, where if your player is substituted, the person who comes on for him takes their place in your bet. So Tarkowski goes off after 70 minutes for Michael Keane, and Michael Keane goes and gets yellow carded, doesn't he? So I believe Lee cashed an 80-1 winner on that treble. I tell you what, talk about good fortune, because Jefferson Lerma started on the bench, came on and got booked. And then Tarkowski gets removed without getting booked, and his sub comes in and gets it. So, yeah, Lee definitely hit it for 80-1, and anyone who used the likes of Paddy Power or Bet365 would have cashed it as a full winner because you would have got the sub in action. But still, the double was good for me. Can't quite claim it as a full-blown stake and Stilton winner because the 3 names on the sheet weren't the 3 names that were the ones I picked. But close again.
Well, yeah, very close. 80 to 1 winner. They're not meant to be easy, but 80 to 1, Lee. Well played, Lee. Happy days, that one. NBA playoffs are here. SGPN is running another free contest. Pick every NBA playoff game. ATS, $1,000 first place prize, winner takes all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA playoffs. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA playoffs. I always read that winner takes all bit wrong. It doesn't scan right. 1,000 first place prize, winner take all is on the next line. But it's winner take all. It's not winner take all. Do you understand? Anyway, if you win it, you take it all, Barry. That's what happens. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right, good. Eye catchers kind of thing, but it was a bad weekend for Newcastle for a couple of weeks.
Get to talk about the rest of my picks, Malcolm, to be honest with you. But
go on then.
I was 6-3 for the weekend. I went 4-1 yesterday. The only one that didn't hit for me yesterday was the Palace team total, obviously scuppered by an early red card in that one. But hit City, the one I loved, hit nice and easy with Brentford team total. Goals in the Newcastle game wasn't quite as bullish as you were on Newcastle. Went for the goals instead. And Southampton, both teams to score, that was nailed on all afternoon, wasn't it? I bet you enjoyed that one.
Well, I never in doubt. I was just saying, I thought, I bet that Ogachuku knocks one in the 93rd minute.
Well, then that made up for the Fulham one today. I had Fulham as my dog. I had Fulham in my other racker. It was Man United, Chelsea and Spurs not to win. So even if Chelsea had got an equaliser, that was still live going into tomorrow. Fulham to then go and get a winner, that was a kick in the bollocks. Like.
James Matthew has joined us. James, how are you doing? Yeah, I think my unlucky losers, well, Liverpool could have scored 1,000 if they'd wanted to. That was a bit odd. I think that was the right pick. Fulham, thought they were going to win. I was disappointed when Chelsea equalised, let alone conceded. Actually, I had a winning bet on that, Baz. I had a free tenner, but it was a bet builder, and I never do them. I just don't do them. It's just not something that appeals to me. But I had this, you had to use it on a bet builder. So I used Outlier, the website that I use for the baseball when I do the MLB show. And it just throws up stats and stuff like that. So I had a look, and it threw up just some stuff I would never have thought. It was 4 legs. Cucurella, 1 foul, which seems obvious. But then Levi Colwill, 1 foul. I would never have thought of including him in anything. Calvin Bassey, 2 tackles. And Pedro Neto, 1 tackle. And sure enough, in the all came at 9-2. So I picked up a cheeky 45 quid, which I'm currently invested in the LA Angels against the San Francisco Giants live as we speak. 0-0 in the top of the 5th. So yeah, that worked out all right. Eye catchers wise, like I said, wasn't a great weekend for Newcastle because they got humped, but then Chelsea won, City won. The 6 points they picked up against Man United and Palace were key, really, because we knew this game was on the horizon. Everyone kind of had the fear, but no one really minded losing when we had those 6 points in the bag. That was important. It's all to play for there in that situation. I thought Villa were brilliant. No issue with Villa at all. We mentioned Ollie Watkins, what he has to do. And he just looked a different
handful
team.
From the start, wasn't he? He was just an absolute handful.
Literally from the start. Scored, hit the post, hit the bar, all in the first half. But the Villa home form is absolutely outstanding. I think it's 18 unbeaten or something mad now. Chelsea were fairly average again. I still don't fancy them. They got away with it again today. So it's a big game for Forest tomorrow at Tottenham. In that top 5 race, still all to play for. Why were Man United just allowed to get beat today? Why was it fine? Because they won on Thursday. I don't understand this. The standards have slipped so much that because they won a match, they haven't won a fucking match for months. Because they won a match, they were then allowed to just get beat. Everyone said it was fine. It's fine. Oh, the fans, that's fine. Just crack on, be shit, lads. Don't score a goal for the 13th time this season. We're not bothered. Lose off the team directly below us in the table in 17th fucking place. They were just allowed to be shit. I haven't seen Roy Keane's opinion. He's the only person I want to listen to at this point, because everyone else was just absolutely fine with them being shit. I didn't understand that at all. Yeah, Callum saying, Mark Goldbridge saying it didn't matter. That's my point. No one thought it mattered. Except, like, do you remember when they used to be good? We keep saying, why can't a player play twice in a week? Why can't a team play well twice in a week? Why do you get the day off for winning a match? I'm baffled by all of that.
I don't get it. It's like they've just given up on the league entirely. They don't care where they finish. I mean, we should say congratulations. We should say congratulations to them. They've officially avoided relegation today. So, they did what they had to do there. There's a very real chance they finish 17th in the league this season. As you say, the fact that we're playing against Wolves, who are the team below them, is surely that's reason enough. And the next round of the Europa League's not for a few weeks anyway. Like, it's not like, let's just take it easy here because we've got the Europa League semi-final. Like, that's in the distance. Just try. Bizarre. Really bizarre.
We did, we've questioned Amarin's decision-making a few times. We mentioned about Højlund scoring those goals against Leicester and then getting left out. And again, today, that's just a chance. All right, come on then. We've won. Let's do it again. Show us what you've got. Even for an hour, if you want to do it that way around, rather than the way around you did it. It just seems his instinct, to me, is wrong about everything.
And it's just
I just don't understand
it. You've got the Europa League to think about. But surely the best thing you can do is keep winning games going into that, like Arsenal did today. We'll come to Arsenal again in midweek. Like, the best thing going into any big game is having that momentum behind you, like going into it off the back of a couple of wins rather than the back of a couple of shit defeats in the Premier League. Just seems to make a bit more sense to me. But I don't get it.
Bear in mind today's opposition, Wolves, appointed a new manager after Amarin came in, who was played with the same squad, not arguably, worse players, a worse squad, has picked up 13 more points than Amarin, has done the double over him, and we're just allowed to let Amarin do what he wants because he hasn't had a transfer window. It's fucking bollocks. I'm not buying it, Baz. And he shouldn't be
Wolves,
selling
by
it.
the way. I mean, Wolves worthy of a mention. They've just won 5 in a row now.
Yeah, excellent.
Really, really good turnaround. I think I highlighted Wolves a while ago as being one that I thought would end up hitting a bit of a run. But it just easy money again back and against Man United today. Absolutely easy. Because they can't score.
I did look for all the world like it was going to finish 0-0.
Created the chances again, didn't they, Man United? They're just, that Højlund is absolutely shite. Like, I mean, I'd seen something the other day on Twitter about Højlund saying Man United look to sell him and the value in him at something like 50 million euros or something like that. It might have even said something higher. I'm thinking, who the fuck is paying 50 million for Højlund in the summer? No chance. Absolutely no chance.
And I saw a bloke today claiming, quite a sensible bloke, we've had a bit of chat with him on Twitter before actually, that 9 games Højlund had started. They'd won 4 and drawn 5. They were unbeaten when Højlund starts. As if, like, it just demonstrates how you can find a statistic for everything. Like, in any way, shape or form, those avoiding a defeat can be attributed to what Højlund's doing up front. Like, if they spraff a draw at the back, the fact that he's arsing around up there like a fat knacker gets them a point. And it's just it was absolute bollocks. And this is why we should start Højlund. They're unbeaten in 9. It's got fuck all to do with it. Like, it's just absolutely baffling. But right, okay, we'll make some picks, Baz, on these couple of midweek games. I need to tell you first about Edge Boost, the first ever bank account built for bettors, fast, reliable access to your money. Works 24/7 for instant deposits. You can earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. No usage fees, no minimum balance. Edge Boost is a debit account. That makes it easy to get started. No credit checks, verify your identity, and you are ready to go. Loads of responsible gambling tools as well. Go to www.edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place about every sport, including the NBA playoffs. All locations accepted. Crypto payouts are rapid. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Okay. 2 games. So I think we said we were going to make a couple of extra picks. I've put like a little bet builder together. So I've got my main pick, and then I've put a little bet builder. I've added a few other legs and a few other different angles. So you can take them as singles. You can put them as a little bet builder, out you like. 1 game on Tuesday and 1 game on Wednesday. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, is Manchester City versus Aston Villa. City is 17-20, minus 117. 16-5 the draw, plus 320. Villa 14-5, plus 280. I watched Everton City the other day, yesterday. I just found City really boring. Fucking hell. Boring. They got away with it. Scored, 84 and 90. They're playing a few kids in there now. O'Reilly's getting a game. Scored. McAtee's getting a game. They've got the kids that they bought in the winter in January. So Nico Gonzalez is kind of finding his feet. Is he good or not? I don't know. Marmouche, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure how good he is. So I kind of get it. And then you've got Gundogan and KDB going around at half pace in the middle of the park. So it's just all a little bit middling. Like it's bang average. I didn't think they were going to win that game. We've seen them draw 0-0 against Man United, 2-2 against Brighton. They've lost to Nottingham Forest, all in the last 6. So I just don't want to bet them. I know we talked about the trap at the weekend, and you went for City. Cree was another one who wanted to be on it. But I bet after 83 minutes, you were thinking, oh, bollocks. And you got away with it, take your money, pay your money and take your choice, and you got away with it, which was fine. But similar price here against Villa doesn't appeal to me at all. Especially having just seen how good Villa were recently, not just against Newcastle, but 3 days before against PSG. 2 outstanding performances, 7 goals scored. We mentioned the squad depth, whether it's Asensio or Watkins or Marlon, Ramsey, all those sort of players. Telemans and McGinn the other day were absolutely incredible, like playing out their skin. So especially in attacking areas, Villa have got tons and tons of options. They do have the FA Cup at the weekend, which is something to bear in mind. I'd much prefer to bet Villa, but just in case this finishes 2-2, I like the price of the Villa team total. Baz, Villa to score twice. We have liked fading Man City's defence. All right, they kept a clean sheet at the weekend, but it's Everton. Everton have got no business scoring against anybody. The Villa team total is 6-4 plus 150 for them to score 2 or more times. This is a big game as well, by the way. In this top 5 race, this is a huge game. So they're not going to die wondering, I wouldn't have thought. Both teams will have to have a pop. And if there's an early goal somewhere, anyone, it's going to open it up. So, yeah, I'll take the Villa team total, Baz. Give us your main play, and then I'll dive into my other couple of little stats that I like.
Yeah, I don't mind your pick at all. City now unbeaten in 5 and 3 wins from the last 4. So the results are looking a bit better, but still plenty in the form to suggest they could be vulnerable in a game like this. Man United and Brighton picked up points at City recently. Forest beat them. And although City invariably are better at home, they've dropped points already this season to Liverpool, Brighton, and even Man United and Everton have went to the Etihad and come away with something. So this Villa team in this form could definitely get something. They have got 5 league wins in a row now, and 6 in the last 7. So now going very well, got the momentum and hitting a stride at the right time. They were far better than us yesterday. Squad looks much deeper than ours. I think that made a difference for us. Villa can bring players off the bench and not really drop their levels at all. Whereas other than Gordon, we've got nobody on the bench at the moment that it particularly inspires you with much confidence. I think the only thing is that, like, everyone was going wild for Villa like yesterday. Commentators, social media, everything, and I get it. They're in a really good run of form, but there's a lot of recency bias in that. Suddenly, like, you know, that 5-game streak, suddenly they're the best team in the league. They'd only won, I think, one of their last 7 before this current streak. So I do think you've got to temper things a little bit where Villa are concerned. At home, I'd want to be backing them every week at the moment. That said, at these prices, Villa do definitely look better value. I'd rather have Villa at 14-5, I think they are, almost 3-1, or even 10-11 on the double chance, rather than take City at odds on as favourites here. If I was picking a side, I'd want Villa for the value, I think, here. But I prefer the goals as well, like you. I haven't taken the same pick because I think both teams will play their part in it. I went for goals in the Villa-Newcastle game for the same reason. I thought both teams would get involved. I mean, Newcastle barely got involved, really, but I still hit the pick. Because I fancy City to get on the score sheet at home. They've scored 20 in their last 7 home games, 5 against Palace, 4 against Newcastle, 3 against Chelsea, 4 against West Ham. There's plenty of form for City goals, particularly at home. So I like the team totals actually on either side. You've mentioned the 2-2. I think that's not a bad shout as well. But I've ended up going for the match total, over 3.5. As you say, there's a lot at stake here. The team that loses this is, just loses that little bit of ground in the race for the top 5, particularly with Chelsea grinding out a late win today. I think that made a big difference in that race. But the pick for me will be over 3.5 goals between City and Villa at 13-10.
Okay, thank you. Courtney's joined us. Courtney, how are you doing? Cree is in the chat as well. Cree, welcome along. Cree reckons City are back. They're not. So tags on a few little plays here, Baz, to make a little bet builder. And I've ended up on a few unders. I quite like, I'm drawn to an under me. I'm a little bit of a misery, but so the first one I looked at was corners. And neither of these teams get many corners. 16th and 17th. It's 16th v 17th in terms of corners won here. So the line is at 10. And it seems high, under 10 corners. We know that's very often because Man City just do that, give it up to the winger, who then give it back to the fullback and they go all the way across. And that's what they do for large periods of the game. So under 10 corners, it's 11-10 plus money. So you can take that in isolation. And the other one is yellow cards for the unders, Baz. This is 19th against 14th in terms of yellow cards. And the line's at 4.5, which is sometimes the lines are very often 3.5 or 4.5. 4.5's the high side. So it's 4-6 minus 150 for the under 4.5 yellow cards. But if you want to parlay them all together, Villa team total under 10 corners and the under 5 cards is 17-2 plus 850. And Zach Neto has just did a home run for the Angels, Baz. Come on! It's 1-1, bottom of the 5th. Yeah, so 17-2 plus 850 for a little bet builder there, Baz. Did you add any other stuff onto yours?
Yeah, I've got a bet builder as well for both games. Mine's a little sort of stats pick on player stats. So you can get this on Bet365 or whichever books do the player stats. So City Villa, I have gone for John McGinn to commit 2 fouls, 2+ fouls. Yuri Tillemans, 2+ tackles. Omar Marmoush, 3+ shots. And Nico Gonzalez, 2+ tackles. So Tillemans and Gonzalez to have 2 tackles each. McGinn to commit 2 fouls and Marmoush to have at least 3 shots. 13-2 plus 650. That is my bet builder for City v Villa.
Okay, very good. Harry's joined us in the chat. Chelsea, smelling himself a little bit. Harry, all right, dickhead. We see you. Next up, I'm going to read these adverts out, Barry. Listen to this. It's time for Underdog Pick'em. Yeah, you can play any sport you like. Win up to 100 times your money. Use our code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. You've got models for NBA and golf as well. Building your own model is simple and easy. Rhythm's got some great deals at the moment. You can get 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25, or 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. What's happening there, Baz? Can you want to talk us through? I had the ad reads up. I've clicked back on the screen, and you appear to have grown what I can only describe as an Adolf Hitler haircut in the meantime.
This is what I'd look like with hair, Malcolm. What do you reckon?
Is that hair, though, Barry?
Well, no, it's not. What is it? What do you think it is?
I couldn't begin to imagine. Looks like a dead mole.
It's a red cabbage leaf, isn't it?
Oh, is it? There might be some miracle cure, Baz.
If
you were in LA, people would be paying like $3,000 a sitting to have you put a red cabbage leaf on their head.
Got to have a bit of vegetable chat, haven't you? So there we go. Red cabbage is the answer today. That wasn't on the Sunday roast. That's for tomorrow.
Well, have you got leftover lamb?
I've got leftover lamb and lots of leftover vegetables, but I've got a plan for tomorrow. I'm firing up the barbecue again. I've got some nice Turkish marinades for chicken shish. So I'm making a chicken kebab, but I'm making a nice red cabbage salad to go with it.
Oh, very good. Well, the most triumphant bit of my dinner today was the mashed swede, Baz. It was great.
Well, I'm a big fan of mashed
underrated,
swede.
like. Underrated, the swede. Quite simple. Tons of butter in there. Yeah, I nailed that. So there you go. The subhuman Gaucho's joined us. Gaucho, welcome. How you doing? Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Arsenal take on Crystal Palace. Arsenal 2-5, -250. The draw 15-4, +375. Crystal Palace 11-2, +550 back.
Yeah, nice straightforward win for Arsenal today, 4-0 against Ipswich. I mean, they seem to have it under control anyway early on, and then Ipswich red card just sealed it, and it just seemed a foregone conclusion at that point. Hard to know what to make of the Palace result yesterday, with them playing with 10 men for half of the game. 0-0, probably a reasonable result under the circumstances. But they have now won just one of the last 5, haven't been in a really hot streak before that, and conceded 5 against both City and Newcastle recently. So some recent form of them taking a hammering. So then I got to thinking, can Arsenal serve up something similar? And for weeks and weeks, I've been on the sort of boat of opposing Arsenal in handicaps and things like that, because they haven't been running up scores against anyone. Until very recently, where they ran up at 3-0 against Real Madrid, and then 4-0 again today against Ipswich. And I think there's definitely been an uptick in performances from Arsenal. I think they've looked better. Certainly, you mentioned last week, Saka returning's made a massive difference, just in terms of the attacking threat they've now got. Obviously, Martinelli's returned as well, just adds to that. And so, having firmly opposed Arsenal in the handicaps for a while, I'm quite tempted here. Because Palace have just had 2 big, heavy defeats to top 5 sides recently, as I mentioned. They got beat 5-1 in the reverse fixture of this one as well. And Arsenal getting into a bit of form here. And as I said before about Man United, you want to have that momentum. I don't think, the league disappearing for Arsenal won't stop them going for it. They'll still want to make sure they keep second place, and they'll want that momentum going into the semi-finals. So, yeah, I think Arsenal will win this one. I'm going to take them to win by 2 or more. Arsenal -1.5 on the handicap at 6-5.
Link Smith mentioning Saka today. I don't know if Saka will be fit. Arteta said he was all right, but he did take a bit of a kick. I'm getting absolutely pelters in the chat for me backwards cap, by the way. Is that any better? That's bordering on the racism, I'll be honest, Baz, in the old chat there. Arsenal going along nicely. They couldn't have wished for an easier day today. But you're right about the momentum. Arteta didn't go mad. He made 4 changes, I think, which is kind of about average modern day football rather than just fucking packing up like Man United did. And I think they get the weekend off after this as well. They haven't got a game at the weekend. Palace, the 0-0 draw v Bournemouth, it's really hard to analyse after the red card. They do seem to be focused on the FA Cup. I think this could be very, very low-key, Barry, because both teams will just be happy for Arsenal to win 2-0. It's just agree it. It's fine. Palace couldn't give a shit. Like, just let them win 2-0. Cheeky bet builder is my main pick, actually. All the way through, I've gone bet builder. So, this feels like cheating, but it's a great price pass. So, the handicap is that Arsenal are going to win 2-0. And everyone is going to be happy with that. Arsenal to win and under 4 goals is 21-20, plus 105. Arsenal are still sitting second in corners won in the table. We like an Arsenal corner. So I've added in over 8 corners. I haven't gone mad with the corners. Adding over 8 corners takes that up to 2-1. And then to fit my game script of this being completely low key and no one giving a shit, under 3 cards takes it up to 7-1 because it's going to be very much after you, Claude, all game. So Arsenal to win with under 4 goals, over 8 corners, under 3 cards gets us up to 7-1, Baz. In a bloodless goal in each half, 2-0 Arsenal win, Barry. You having that?
Maybe. I've got a bet builder, so I'll let you know what I've got here. It does rely on.
Let's see.
It does rely on Saka playing, so it's one of those where I think we are bet builders for Arsenal. If you're going for player stuff, you want to wait and see the lineup because it probably will rotate another 3 or 4. But the bet builder I've gone for is Saka to score or assist, Martinelli 2 or more shots on goal, or just shots, because I know that confuses people when I use the incorrect terminology. Miguel Merino 2+ tackles, and Daniel Munoz 2 or more fouls. So Saka to score or assist, Martinelli 2 or more shots, Merino 2 or more tackles, Munoz 2 or more fouls. 15-2 plus 750. That's my bet builder for Arsenal v Palace.
Very good. Did you get any Easter eggs, Baz?
Nope.
Oh, that's disappointing. I got 1. Do you want to guess what kind I got?
Yorkie.
No. Another guess?
Snickers.
People in the chat want to write. What did you say?
Snickers.
Snow.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have Snickers. Nut allergy.
My rampant peanut allergy, Barry.
You might have got you a Snickers because you might be fucking sick of you by now, but there you go.
No, the first person who gets it in the chat wins a $500 gift card.
I don't like chocolate.
To the SG. What?
I don't like chocolate.
Don't you?
I've no interest in chocolate. No, doesn't bother me.
No.
I'd rather have a loaf of bread.
No, it wasn't a Maltese. That wasn't a whisper. All those guesses in the chat are incorrect. Barry, while people are guessing this is great content. As we desperately try and drag this out to 40 minutes. Anything to tell the people before we go? We've got 45 seconds.
I'm sure I had something to tell, but I can't remember. I think I was going to get you to guess what vegetable was next to me, but I've already told you. I've got a red cabbage here.
You put it on your head, didn't you?
Yeah, I will. I'll share some pictures of tomorrow's. I've got a good plan. This Turkish is going to be amazing. I've got some nice lamb mince as well to make some Turkish koftas. So I will be grilling again tomorrow. Although I've looked at the forecast, it looks like it might rain all day. But I don't care. I'll grill in the rain. It doesn't bother me.
Right, okay. We got to 40 minutes, so we can stop talking now. No, Lee, it was not halal chocolate. It was a crunchy in your old dickheads. And thanks for listening. We'll be back. What's up? There's Premier League and FA Cup at the weekend, isn't there? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday lunchtime is Premier League, and then we got the 2 FA Cup semi-finals. So plenty of stuff to be getting on with. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy a lovely, what is it tomorrow? Easter Monday? Something like that. Yeah, have fun. Enjoy your bait, Barry. Good luck with your bets. We will see you all down the road. Cheers.